My child, you have felt the stirring in your spirit. You've sensed the shift in the air, but you haven't fully understood what it means. I come now, not with fear, but with clarity, because what's ahead is not just another season. It is a turning, a divine crossing point, and you're not ready, unless you hear me now. This is not a message for the masses. This is for you, chosen, marked, fought over in the heavens. There is something about your life the enemy fears. He fears your voice. He fears your obedience. He fears what you carry, because when you step into it, chains will break that have held others for generations. But right now, there is a crack in your armor, and the war that's coming will expose it. I was sent not to flatter you, but to prepare you, because preparation is mercy. Heaven has already seen what's coming, and heaven has already declared what must stand. But there are keys you don't yet hold, weapons you haven't yet lifted, truths you've heard, but haven't walked in fully. That's why I speak. You must armor up, but not just with routine prayers, not just with memory verses spoken in haste. No, this armor is forged in surrender, refined in fire, tested in silence. You're asking for victory, but heaven is asking if you're ready for the responsibility of it, because with every elevation comes exposure, with every breakthrough comes backlash. And if your spirit is still tied to comfort, you will not stand in what's coming. I've watched you grow. Heaven has wept and rejoiced over you, but the time of leniency is lifting. The time of training has ended. This is the time of readiness. You cannot war with borrowed oil. You cannot run on yesterday's manna. You cannot face giants while doubting who you are. You've prayed, Lord, increase me. But do you know what you're asking? To increase is to be shaken. To carry weight, you must be strengthened. And strengthening comes through stretching, through storms, through stillness, through situations that feel like silence, but are actually sacred setups. Listen to me. The enemy doesn't mind you being busy. He doesn't mind you being spiritual. He minds you being ready, because a ready believer becomes a weapon. You're not ready just because you're willing. You're ready when you're rooted. When the winds of disappointment don't uproot your praise, when the whispers of delay don't silence your declarations, this isn't the time to shrink. This isn't the hour to second guess. This is the moment you decide, fully decide, who you are. You've been called to stand where others fell. You've been chosen to rebuild what others abandoned, and that means your foundation must be unshakable. Let me speak clearly. You will not survive what's ahead on emotional faith. You will not discern truth through feelings alone. You must be anchored in what God said, not just what you feel. There are doors about to open, but they are guarded by obedience. There are attacks scheduled against you, but they can be canceled by alignment. So I ask you now, where are you out of alignment? What habits still grieve the Spirit? What voices are louder than the voice of God? It's time to silence them. Because your discernment in this season will determine your direction. If you're distracted, you'll miss the divine. If you're casual, you'll be caught unaware. I do not say this to scare you. I say this because I've seen what's coming. And it will not wait for you to decide later. There is grace here. There is mercy in this message. But there is also urgency. Heaven is not waiting for the perfect version of you, only the surrendered one. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to say yes, fully, finally, and fearlessly. Because when you do, heaven will back you. Angels will surround you. Warring hosts will move at the sound of your obedience. But you must stop hesitating. You were not made for safe decisions. You were not born for easy paths. You are a breaker, one who shatters barriers, one who carries a voice that echoes into darkness and pulls others out. But if you don't believe it, you'll never walk in it. So I ask again, are you ready? Not for comfort, not for applause, but for what heaven has written over your life. It's more than success. It's more than influence. It's legacy. It's eternity. It's souls. And you're a key part of it. Don't bury your gifts beneath fear. Don't delay obedience because of doubt. Don't ignore the signs. Heaven has been sending them. And now, this message is one more. I was sent not just to warn you, but to activate you. You've waited long enough. You've circled the same mountain too many times. This is the hour to rise, to walk, to step into your assignment with fire in your eyes and truth in your bones. The shaking that's coming is real. The division that's ahead is necessary, and only those who are rooted will remain standing. So check your roots, not your title. Where is your trust? Where is your worship when no one sees? Where is your discipline when it's inconvenient? That's what will keep you. And if you're still listening now, then know this. You are not here by accident. This word is a call, a trumpet in the spirit, a final push into divine positioning. But now I must go deeper, because readiness is not a feeling. It is a transformation, and transformation is never passive. The battle that's forming in the unseen will not wait for convenience. It will not adjust itself to your pace. You must rise now, deliberate, disciplined, decisive. The Spirit of God is hovering over the chaos in your life. He is not panicked. He is preparing. But heaven cannot build where you won't clear the ground. What clutter still crowds your altar? What compromises still live in the corners of your heart? This is where the enemy takes his foothold, not in the obvious, but in the overlooked. There are things you've allowed because they didn't feel dangerous, but what doesn't seem dangerous can still be deadly. It's the slow leaks that sink great ships. And some of what you're tolerating is delaying what you've been praying for. That's why I was sent, to shake you from spiritual sleep, to bring light into the shadows you've made peace with. You cannot step into what's coming without letting go of what should have ended long ago. There are connections that feel comfortable but are compromising your clarity. There are routines that keep you busy but rob you of power. It's time to cut them off. Without apology, without delay. You've wept over closed doors. But I tell you, many were divine closures, protection in disguise. Heaven never shut what would have served your purpose, only what would have sabotaged it. Your obedience in this season must be sharper than your emotions. Because not everything painful is an attack. Some of it is pruning. And pruning always precedes promotion. Listen closely. The enemy has studied your bloodline. He knows the patterns. He knows the temptations. He knows what's worked before, and he plans to try again. But you were not placed here to repeat the cycle. You were placed here to break it, and you will. If you're willing to confront what others avoided, if you're willing to stand in spaces where others bowed, you've been chosen to shift a generation. But you must be emptied to carry that kind of power. There is no room for fear in a warrior. There is no space for double-mindedness in a deliverer. You must make peace with the process, even when it's lonely, even when it's misunderstood, even when no one claps for your obedience. Because the unseen realm responds to purity, not popularity. Heaven doesn't rank based on followers. Heaven moves at the sound of faith. So where is your faith anchored? in what you see, or in what God said. The shaking you feel is not punishment, it is placement. God is rearranging everything to align you with the next level of your assignment, and alignment always comes with agitation. You've outgrown certain environments, but you stayed because they were familiar. Now heaven is making them uncomfortable, not to punish you, but to push you. Don't resist it. Don't explain it. Just obey. Because every delay in obedience opens a door to deception. The enemy will always try to offer a more convenient path. He'll whisper, maybe later, maybe easier. But I tell you, there is no easy road to divine purpose, only the narrow one, the sacred one, the one drenched in surrender, and that's the one you must walk. You've asked for angelic assistance, you've asked for protection, you've asked for breakthrough, but you must also ask for endurance, because miracles come to those who endure, not those who merely begin, but those who finish, even when it costs them everything. You were born for this, but being born for something doesn't mean you'll walk in it automatically. You must fight for it. In prayer, in fasting, in consecration. Every divine calling will demand your comfort. But what you give up in comfort, you gain in power. You've been distracted by battles that aren't yours, arguments that don't matter, disappointments that blurred your focus. Now I command your spirit to come back into alignment. Lift your head, square your shoulders. Heaven's army is watching and waiting. You are not just a believer, you are a soldier. And soldiers do not walk casually into combat. They are trained, they are tested, they are trusted, and you are being trusted with this warning because your role in what's coming is critical. Nations will shake, systems will fall, and only those anchored in truth will remain standing. You cannot wait for confirmation to obey. You cannot ask for comfort while carrying a sword. You have to move now, even if it means walking alone, even if it means leaving what felt like home. God is not calling you to be accepted. He is calling you to be set apart. And separation is often the first sign of sanctification. So be encouraged, not offended, when you feel the pull away from people, places, or platforms. You are being reserved for something greater, and the greater the call, the deeper the consecration. I speak this into your spirit now. You will not fall, you will not fail, you will finish, because what has been started in you was authored by the one who never loses. But your part is surrender. Let go of the timeline. Let go of the pressure. Let go of needing to be understood. Just obey. And as you do, you will begin to see the shift. Doors will open that no man can shut. Warfare will lose its grip. Cycles will break under your feet. But not by might, not by power, by His Spirit. Let this message ring in your soul. You are not just called to survive what's coming. You are called to lead others through it. My beloved warrior, now that you've been awakened, you must be established. For revelation without preparation leads to collapse, and you will not collapse. You will stand, rooted, armored, unshakable. But not because the storm gets lighter, because you grow stronger. You ask, what must I do? And I answer, you must build your foundation on the rock, not on emotion. Because what's coming will test what you've built your life upon. Many will shout God's name with their lips, but only those with oil in their lamps will have the light to walk through the darkness. This is your moment to refill, to return, to be real. Stop pretending you're okay when your soul is screaming for restoration. Heaven doesn't respond to masks. Heaven moves for those who are honest. You do not need to impress me. I do not come for perfection. I come for permission. Will you allow heaven to disrupt what's been draining you? because some of what you're clinging to is the very thing blocking the flow. You've asked for increase, but you haven't made room. You've asked for direction, but you still consult your fear before you move. That must end. Now. You cannot step into destiny while dragging old doubts behind you. They will trip you. They will trap you. They will turn your faith into fatigue. Hear me clearly. Your faith must now mature. It cannot be fragile. It cannot rise and fall based on feelings. Your emotions are real, yes, but they are not your compass. The Spirit is. When you feel fear, speak truth. When you feel delay, declare promise. When the atmosphere around you shakes, let the word inside you roar. Because everything outside you is designed to provoke a reaction, but everything inside you is designed to birth a response. Do not react. Respond. You are not a victim of this season. You are a vessel in it. Heaven is pouring out wisdom, but it only lands where pride has been emptied. So release pride. Release the need to control the outcome. God is not building what you imagine. He is building what He ordained. And sometimes that means tearing down what you idolized. You thought it was your dream, but it was really your distraction. And now it must be stripped. This is the sacred work of refinement. It is not punishment. It is protection. God strips what you don't need, so you're not carrying extra weight when the storm arrives. Because yes, a storm is coming, not to destroy you, but to expose foundations. Those who built on sand will scatter. Those who built on stone will shine. And you are being called to stand like stone. Your mind must be renewed daily, your heart guarded, your eyes fixed. Stop feeding your soul with noise. Stop entertaining the lies of the accuser. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are being fortified. That tension you feel in the spirit, it's the pull of transformation. That resistance, it's the pressure that comes before promotion. I say again, do not mistake the pressure for punishment. Gold is pressed. Diamonds are cut, weapons are forged in fire, and so are warriors. You have been marked since the womb. The enemy knew what you carried before you even discovered it. That's why he fought you early. That's why the warfare was intense when your life looked small. Because he saw what was hidden and feared what would awaken. Now you're waking up, and so is the enemy's fear. But fear not his schemes. He is already defeated. You don't fight for victory, you fight from victory. But you must be dressed for battle. Put on truth like a belt. Wear righteousness like armor. Pick up the shield of faith again. No more cracks, no more hesitation. This is not the time for casual Christianity. This is not the hour for lukewarm living. This is the time for fire. Let your prayer life burn again. Let your hunger return. Let your altar be rebuilt. What you lost in the last season is nothing compared to what's being released in this one, but only to those who are ready. That's why I said you're not ready for what's coming without this. Without what? Without consecration, without clarity, without commitment. You will not survive the next wave on yesterday's obedience. New obedience opens new dimensions. And I see a door before you now. It is wide, open, but you cannot walk through it as you are. Something must die. Your excuses, your delay, your inner vow that says, I'll never trust again. Release it, because what's on the other side of this obedience is what you've been crying out for in secret. But I must warn you, there is a counterfeit forming. It will look like an answer. It will sound like favor. It will appeal to your tiredness. But it is bait. Discern it. Do not bite the hook. Not everything that comes easy is from God. Sometimes delay is mercy, giving you time to see what's real. Trust the Spirit, not your senses. You are being trained in discernment, because what's ahead will require more than charisma. It will require clarity. And the only way to walk in clarity is to walk in purity. Your motives must be clean. Your yes must be complete. Your altar must be full. No more divided loyalty. You are heaven's vessel, not the world's entertainer. You do not need validation to be anointed. You do not need permission to be obedient. Move when God speaks, even if no one claps, even if no one understands. This is between you and the the throne has already spoken. Now go, fast, pray, separate. Do what's hard now so you won't be broken later. This is your instruction. This is your moment. I will return with more. But until I speak again, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Because here is where I will keep revealing the keys to your future. Heaven's warnings are not random. They are targeted. They are urgent. They are for you. Stay ready. Stay set apart. I will speak again soon. My warrior, you're closer than you think. But closeness is not the same as completion. The final stretch is always the most intense, because that's when the enemy throws everything he has left. He knows he cannot stop what God has already approved, so he tries to distract you before it manifests. He hopes you'll settle for a version of the promise that comes without the process. But I have come to tell you, refuse to settle. Refuse to lower your standard just to get quicker results. You are not being delayed because of punishment. You are being refined because of purpose. Do not mistake God's silence for his absence. Heaven is not ignoring you. Heaven is equipping you. The silence is sacred. It teaches you to move by faith, not by feedback. And that's what you'll need for what's coming. Because this next season won't look like what you prayed for, but it will lead to what you were promised. Let me say that again so your spirit can grasp it deeply. What's next may not look like the answer, but it will carry the ingredients of breakthrough. You must recognize the seed, even if it doesn't look like the harvest. The enemy is counting on your impatience. He's counting on your eyes being too clouded to recognize destiny in disguise. But I say to you now, receive divine sight. See past the noise. See past the surface. See what's real. There are people approaching you now who do not carry your future. They carry your delay. Their voices will sound sweet, but their assignments are sour. They've been sent to charm you out of consecration, to convince you that compromise isn't that bad, to water down your fire little by little. But I have been sent to guard your flame. You have asked for power. You have asked for discernment. You have asked for influence. But you cannot carry that weight without deeper surrender. This is the hour of the threshing floor, where what's usable is separated from what's dead weight. Your old habits cannot cross over with you. Neither can bitterness. Neither can resentment. Neither can pride. You must lay it down now, or it will become the hook the enemy uses later. Some of you are still carrying what someone said about you 5 years ago. Let it go. Some of you are still proving yourself to people who were never assigned to your destiny. Let it go. This is the season of intentional shedding, because you must move swiftly in the days ahead. There is no time to argue with flesh when you've been summoned by the Spirit. There is no time to look back when heaven has opened the way forward. And yes, it is open. You may not feel it, but it is open. You may not see the full picture, but the gates have already shifted. What you're about to walk into is not the result of luck or chance. It is the result of obedience in silence. Your quiet tears, your silent sacrifices, your lonely prayers at midnight, they were all recorded. Heaven didn't miss one. And now, there's a sound in the spirit, the sound of shifting, the sound of preparation, the sound of something coming into divine alignment. That's why you feel pressure. Pressure is the sign that your posture is changing. A woman feels pressure just before the baby is born. A volcano builds pressure before the eruption. You are about to release what has been gestating inside you for years, but only if you do not quit here. Only if you resist the impulse to self-destruct in the hallway. You are in between, yes, but in between doesn't mean abandoned. It means positioned. Positioned for clarity, positioned for strategy, positioned for purification. Do not curse the cocoon. It is not your prison. It is your preparation. The world has not seen what God is forming in you, but they will. And when they do, they won't recognize you. You will not emerge looking like the pain you went through. You will not carry the scent of the fire you survived. You will rise, anointed and appointed. But listen, you must be serious now. This is not a time to scroll aimlessly, to waste your energy on empty distractions, to wander in spiritual confusion. You know who you are, you know what He said, so act like it. Wake up early, turn off the noise, sanctify your atmosphere, speak only what aligns with your destiny. Do not curse your life with careless words. Speak life, speak victory, speak promises. And when the voice of fear returns, because it will, you silence it with authority. You remind it, I have been chosen. I have been redeemed. I have been called for such a time as this. And so have you, my warrior. You are not here by accident. You were not born late. You are right on heaven's calendar, but you must not lose focus now. There is a divine instruction hovering over you, and your obedience will unlock more than you can comprehend. Not just for you, for your bloodline. The curse stops with you. The wandering stops with you. The doubt ends here. You are the turning point, but you must be prepared. You're not ready for what's coming without consecration, without boldness, without unwavering trust. So prepare now. Go deeper in prayer. Get still. Seek clarity. Separate from what distracts. Connect with who sharpens. The King is moving. The angels are watching. The enemy is trembling. And you are rising. My beloved warrior, you must understand this. Your spirit has been marked by heaven, and because of that, hell has noticed. You carry something that threatens the darkness. You hold a key that can unlock generational chains, and the enemy fears what will happen if you realize that. That is why the attacks feel so personal. That's why the pressure feels relentless. That's why you've been misunderstood, rejected, betrayed. It was never about who you are in the natural. It has always been about who you are in the spirit. And now that you're drawing closer to clarity, He's trying to confuse your identity. But I speak this over you now. You are not confused. You are not weak. You are not defeated. You are chosen. You are rising. You are anointed for war. But you're not ready for what's coming without divine identity. This world will try to name you. Your past will try to define you. People will try to limit you, but heaven has already sealed your name. You are not who they say you are. You are who I say you are. You are light in darkness. You are fire in the cold. You are the answer to prayers spoken before you were born, and you must walk in that truth now. Not tomorrow, not when you feel qualified, not when the crowd claps for you. Now you don't need another confirmation. You need activation, and that starts with obedience. Not partial obedience, not delayed obedience. Full surrender, the kind that shifts timelines, The kind that opens doors man said were closed. The kind that causes angels to move on your behalf. This is not the time to play it safe. You've been called to disrupt, to tear down systems of fear, to expose lies with truth, to shine boldly in rooms built to keep you silent. And yes, you will be misunderstood. People will question your motives. They will say you've changed. They will call your fire too much. Let them talk. Your obedience is not for their approval. You are not on assignment to be liked. You are on assignment to shift atmospheres. And the weight of that call requires a clean vessel. Not perfect, clean, not flawless, surrendered. Do you hear me? Stop waiting to feel holy enough to move forward. It is not your perfection that activates power. It is your position. Position yourself now. Posture your heart. Clear your atmosphere. Get serious about your assignment. You cannot carry old habits into a new mantle. You cannot hold on to unforgiveness and expect fresh oil. There is no anointing where there is bitterness. Release it now. Forgive, even if they never say sorry, even if they never acknowledge what they did. Forgiveness is not for them. It's for your freedom. And freedom is the soil where miracles grow. Yes, you've been waiting. Yes, it's been long. But hear this. Heaven has not forgotten you. The vision still lives. The promise is still valid. The mantle still rests on your shoulders. But you must be prepared to carry it in full. Not half, not casually, not occasionally. In full. Because the next battle won't be external. It will be internal. The enemy will come for your thoughts. He will try to wear you down with self-doubt. He will whisper lies wrapped in logic. And if you're not grounded, you'll mistake fear for wisdom. You'll call hesitation discernment. You'll dress delay as patience. You'll shrink back and call it humility. But I have come to cut through the noise. Now is not the time to shrink. Now is not the time to hide. Now is not the time to blend in. Now is the time to move. You already have what it takes. You already know more than enough. You already carry what heaven requires. But you must rise in authority. Speak like you believe. Pray like you carry the answer. Move like you've seen the vision. Walk like you've touched the edge of glory. Because you have. And you will again. The next chapter of your life won't be birthed by talent. It will be birthed by truth. You must live in truth, even when it costs you relationships, even when it challenges your comfort, even when it exposes your own excuses. Truth is the sword, and I have handed it to you. Now wield it. Speak it over your life. Speak it over your home. Speak it over your body. Speak it over your future. Don't wait until you feel brave. Decree until you become bold. And if you fall, rise quickly. Do not dwell in shame. The righteous fall 7 times, but they rise again. It's not about falling. It's about refusing to stay down. Your enemy wants you tired, ashamed, disqualified in your own eyes. But I see you fully, and I say this: you are not disqualified. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are in process, and heaven celebrates process. You're not ready for what's coming without understanding that your pain has a purpose. Your tears are watering the ground of breakthrough. Your delays are shaping your spiritual muscle. Your unanswered prayers are carving the space for better answers. Do not let the enemy convince you that waiting is wasting. Do not let impatience rob you of legacy. The blessing will come, but the vessel must be ready, and you are nearly there. Don't sabotage what's coming by stepping out of position now. Let me train your hands for war. Let me sharpen your discernment. Let me purify your motives, because what's coming next is not small. It will shake systems. It will awaken generations. It will echo beyond your lifetime, but only if you're ready. And so I say again, Prepare. My child, I see the weariness in your soul. I know the nights you've cried in silence when no one understood the weight you carry. But I must speak plainly now. You cannot move forward if you're still tethered to what tried to destroy you. You've outgrown the old patterns. You've outlived the old survival tactics. But still, I see you clutching the very thing heaven is asking you to release. What's coming cannot be carried in the hands of the unhealed. Let that sink in. Your next assignment requires capacity. Capacity to trust again. Capacity to hear clearly. Capacity to obey without delay. But the wounds you've ignored, the ones you've labeled as fine, they are silently draining your strength. You're not weak, you're not broken, but you are bleeding, and heaven cannot pour into a vessel that leaks. You must confront what you buried. You must go back to the place you stopped believing, because there I will meet you, not to shame you, to restore you. You are not your trauma. You are not the abandonment. You are not the failure. You are the healed, the delivered, the chosen. But healing is not passive. It's a battle, a tearing away from lies stitched into your identity. And I will fight beside you. But you must stop calling comfort peace. Not every stillness is from God. Some stillness is stagnation. Some silence is spiritual muting. And I've come to unmute you. You've been too quiet for too long. Your voice shakes foundations. Your prayers pierce atmospheres. And the enemy has done everything he can to keep you doubting your own authority. But I remind you now, you are not speaking from earth to heaven. You are speaking from heaven to earth. You've been seated in heavenly places. That means you are not under attack. You are above it. But if you don't see yourself that way, you'll live in constant defense instead of divine offense. And now is the time to go on the offense. Speak life with precision. Break agreements with fear. Renounce every word curse spoken over you by others, and even by your own mouth. Yes, your own words have power. They have planted seeds, and some of those seeds must be uprooted now. Uproot the lies. Uproot the shame. Uproot the I'm not enough. The it's too late. The I guess this is just my life. That is not your portion. Your portion is victory. Your inheritance is clarity. Your birthright is dominion. But dominion demands discipline. You cannot rule over what you refuse to confront. And there are things in your life right now, habits, cycles, distractions, that you've made peace with. But I tell you this in love, what you tolerate will dominate. And heaven did not raise you to be dominated. You are the head, not the tail. Above, not beneath. A lender, not a borrower. A warrior, not a wanderer. So rise. Rise in your routine. Rise in your thoughts. Rise in your relationships. It's time to stop entertaining chaos and calling it a season. You are not stuck. You are settling, and I have come to unsettle you. Because what's coming, what's on the edge of this threshold, will require a boldness you've never walked in before. It will not wait for you to feel ready. It will not knock softly. It will come like a flood, and you must be rooted enough to stand. That's why I'm shaking things now, not to punish, to prepare. You've prayed for overflow, but overflow comes with pressure, with pruning, with purging. Heaven never sends more to those unwilling to handle the weight of what they already carry. So check your stewardship, check your words, check your inner life. What are you feeding your soul? The enemy has no need to destroy the strong if he can distract them. And many of you have not been defeated. You've just been distracted. Distracted by timelines, by comparison, by scrolling past other people's highlight reels. and thinking you missed your moment. But your moment is not behind you. It's not lost. It's not past. It's coming, if you're prepared. And preparation is not glamorous. It's hidden. It's daily. It's choosing what no one claps for, so that you're ready for what heaven is sending. I know what you've walked through. I know how much you've given. I know how long you've waited. But I also know what's on the other side. I've seen the favor. I've seen the reconciliation. I've seen the platform built from your pain. And you cannot afford to miss it now by pretending you're fine when your spirit is screaming for restoration. Let me in again. Let me strengthen what's weak. Let me stretch what's stagnant. Let me light the fire that religion tried to extinguish. You were not born for silence. You were born for divine disruption. So shake off the shame. Shake off the delay. Shake off the need for applause. You will not always be understood, but you will be effective. And in the kingdom, effectiveness matters more than visibility. Stay hidden if heaven asks you to. Move in secret if that's where the power flows. And trust, truly trust, that the God who called you will exalt you at the right time. Not man, not a platform, not a trend. Heaven. But you must be in position. That's what this is about. You're not ready for what's coming without divine positioning. This is more than strategy. It's alignment. You can't be out of sync with God and expect in-season blessings. He's not punishing you. He's aligning you. And alignment sometimes feels like loss. But it's only heaven removing what cannot travel where you're going. Accept the pruning. Embrace the refining. Rejoice in the stretching. It's proof that something holy is coming. And as I speak to you now, know this is no coincidence. You were meant to hear this. Your spirit drew it in. Because the time is near. The shift is here. And you must be found ready. Ready in your mind. Ready in your heart. Ready in your soul. Let go of the old. Stand in the new. Walk in what has already been spoken over you. My child, there is no time to waste. Heaven is moving. Angels are already dispatched. Doors are aligning in the spirit. But what good are open doors if you refuse to walk through them? This is not about opportunity. It's about obedience. Because what's coming isn't optional, it's divine. It's destined. It's written into the scroll of your life. But destiny is not automatic. It demands your agreement. It demands your participation. The Father will not force your hand. You must choose to rise. You must choose to prepare. And that preparation must happen in secret. No more announcing before birthing. No more seeking validation before revelation. Some things must grow in silence. Some power must be cultivated in the shadows, because the weight of what's coming requires you to be rooted in the unseen. My child, you've been loud in seasons that required stillness, and silent in moments that required sound. Now, I'm restoring your rhythm. I'm calling you back into alignment so you'll speak when heaven speaks and act when heaven acts. There will be no more delay, but there must be no more disorder either. Spiritual disorder is dangerous. If your soul is scattered, your discernment will be dull. If your heart is cluttered, you won't know what is God and what is distraction wrapped in light. That's why I'm urging you now, get still, get clear, get real with yourself. What are you carrying that heaven never assigned? Whose voices are you entertaining that I never sent? There's a war for your attention, and whoever owns your attention steers your direction. You've been drifting, not because you lack purpose, but because your focus has been divided. You can't build what you're called to with divided focus. You can't slay giants while scrolling through illusions. This world has numbed your fire, softened your roar, seduced your urgency, but I've come to wake it back up. I've come to stir the warrior within you, the one who used to pray with boldness, the one who used to fast without fear, the one who heard my voice clearly, not just through prophets or videos or words from others, but directly, powerfully, personally. You didn't lose your connection. You just let the static of the world grow louder than my whisper. But even now, I speak again. Even now, I clear the static. Even now, I remind you of the authority in your voice. You don't need more confirmations. You need more courage. You don't need another sign. You need to move in faith. Because faith is the currency of heaven. Faith is what unlocks miracles. Faith is what parts the sea. And some of you are standing in front of your sea, waiting for it to move, but it's waiting for your step. Miracles follow movement, not perfection, not full understanding, just movement. My child, you've delayed long enough. You've analyzed yourself into paralysis. You've questioned every instruction until doubt became your comfort. But obedience isn't supposed to make sense. It's supposed to make progress. Do it scared. Do it unsure. Do it with tears still on your face. But do it, because what's coming will not wait for your overthinking. Heaven's timeline is accelerating. There is a quickening now in the spirit. A divine urgency pressing against the walls of complacency. That tug you feel in your chest, that's me. That's the sound of purpose, waking up again. You thought it was over. You thought you missed it. You thought you disqualified yourself. But heaven has not changed its mind about you. Your calling still stands. Your anointing still flows. Your name is still known in the realm of angels. And the darkness that tried to convince you otherwise, it only fought so hard because it knew what you carry. You've been in a fog, but the fog is lifting. You've been in the wilderness, but the path is forming. You've been at the back, but I've come to bring you forward, not because of your works, but because of your willingness. You're not chosen because you're perfect. You're chosen because you're surrendered. And surrender doesn't mean passive. It means active trust. Active trust looks like obedience, even when it's hard. Active trust sounds like praise, even when you're tired. Active trust feels like peace, even when the ground shakes beneath you. And the ground will shake, the world will roar, voices will rise to confuse, to distract, to seduce. But my voice will remain still, calm, certain. Because I do not shout to compete, I whisper to see who's listening. Are you listening? Because right now, heaven is whispering strategy, instructions, blueprints, not for everyone, for the ones who are still enough to hear. You don't need a bigger audience. You need a deeper altar. You don't need a platform. You need power. And power is forged in the secret place. Power is birthed in surrender. Power is sustained by purity. What's coming will expose those who built on sand. Only those rooted in the Spirit will remain standing. And you, child, you are called to remain standing. That's why the warfare has been relentless. That's why the pressure has been intense. That's why the enemy has targeted your sleep, your mind, your confidence. Because you are not just being prepared, you are being positioned. Heaven does not waste pain. Heaven does not waste storms. Heaven does not waste anything surrendered to divine hands. So trust what is being shaken. Trust what is being removed. Trust that what feels like a breaking is really a building. And as you listen now, remember, this is no accident. This message has found you because your spirit is ready, because the time is now, because the heavens are moving, and you must move with them. So rise, pray again, speak again, build again. You're not too late. You're right on time. You're not behind. You're aligned. You're not forgotten. You're favored. The next moment is holy. Be found ready. My warrior, there is a shift in the atmosphere. The heavens are opening above you, but only those with spiritual eyes will see it. Only those with clean hands and willing hearts will walk through what's about to be poured out. The days of half-hearted faith are over. The time of casual obedience has passed. You must burn with purpose now. You must rise with focus now, because what's coming will not be gentle. It will shake, it will test, it will sift. But those who are grounded in truth will not be moved. My child, I come not only with encouragement, I come with warning. There are storms being stirred by dark forces designed to confuse the unprepared. There are delays being engineered in secret to sabotage your momentum, and many are falling for the illusion. They think it's just life. They think it's just bad luck. But I tell you, it is intentional. It is targeted. It is spiritual. You cannot fight spiritual war with carnal weapons. You cannot win divine battles with emotional reasoning. You must be armored in truth. You must be equipped in the Spirit, because deception is rising and it wears a holy face. The enemy knows you won't fall for the obvious, so he hides in imitation. He mimics revelation. He imitates peace. He creates false confirmations to seduce the immature. And if your discernment is not sharpened, you will follow the wrong voice, believing it to be mine. That's why I urge you now, return to the secret place, not just for comfort, but for clarity. You need clear vision for what's coming. You need divine instructions for the days ahead. You need heaven's strategy, not man's advice. The Spirit is speaking, and those who are listening will be the ones who lead. This is your hour to lead. But leadership in heaven's kingdom doesn't start with applause. It starts with consecration. It begins in the shadows. It grows in silence. It requires the stripping of pride, the laying down of ego, and the death of people-pleasing. You cannot carry divine fire and crave human approval. You cannot be effective in the Spirit while being addicted to being understood. Let them misunderstand you. Let them walk away. Let them question your silence, your shift, your pruning. You're not building for them. You're building with God. And what He is doing in you now, it doesn't need to be explained. It needs to be obeyed. Because obedience is your weapon. Obedience is your covering. Obedience is what separates those who survive from those who reign. And you were not called to survive. You were called to reign. But you must understand this. Authority is not shouted. Authority is not demanded. Authority is established in the presence of God and demonstrated through alignment. When you walk in divine alignment, atmospheres shift when you speak. Demons tremble when you pray. Strongholds crumble when you whisper truth. That is who you are. That is what you carry. But you forgot. So I came to remind you, you are not weak. You are not unqualified. You are not average. You are chosen. You are dangerous to darkness. You are a carrier of glory. But glory comes at a cost. You must lay down what is familiar. You must break allegiance with comfort. You must sacrifice the timeline you imagine to embrace the mission God has for you. Because this mission is bigger than you, bigger than your pain, bigger than your fears. There are generations waiting for your obedience. There are bloodlines waiting for your breakthrough. There are territories waiting for your yes. And your yes, it has weight in the Spirit. Every time you choose purity over popularity, you shift something. Every time you choose worship over worry, you break something. Every time you choose stillness over striving, you build something. You are building in the Spirit. You are establishing heavenly structures that will outlive your name. This is why the enemy fights you so hard. Not because of who you are now, but because of who you're becoming. He saw it before you did. That's why he tried to stop you in childhood. That's why he tried to silence your voice through trauma. That's why he wrapped you in fear, shame, and confusion. But what the enemy meant to destroy you, heaven is using to deliver others. The very thing that nearly broke you will become the blueprint for someone else's freedom. Your story will be the weapon. Your scars will carry oil. Your tears have become intercession. And now, my child, you stand at the threshold of destiny. But you're not ready without this, without clarity, without purity, without fire in your bones and truth on your tongue. Do not settle for watered-down revelation. Do not accept comfortable compromise. Do not copy broken models just because they're popular. You are set apart. You are called higher. That's why old doors are closing. That's why familiar places feel foreign. That's why you've outgrown what used to feel safe. You're not dying. You're evolving. You're being stretched, refined, reformed, so that you can carry weight in the spirit without cracking under pressure. And as you listen now, I am activating something deep inside you. A divine knowing, a holy boldness, a heavenly confidence. You don't need to chase validation anymore. You don't need to explain your obedience. You don't need to wait for permission to be powerful. Heaven already gave it. So rise, pray with boldness, walk with authority, speak with precision. Let your life become a weapon. Let your worship become warfare. Let your obedience shake kingdoms. My warrior, you stand on the edge of a new dawn, but the battle before you is not a simple one. It demands everything: your courage, your faith, your unyielding spirit. The enemy's tactics will intensify. He will strike where you feel strongest. He will whisper lies in the silence of your mind, trying to undo the foundation you have built. But listen closely. You are not alone. I am with you. Not as a distant observer, but as a fierce protector. I am the sword in your hand, the shield around your heart, the fire that burns within your soul. The darkness knows this, and that is why it flees in my presence. That is why it trembles when you call my name. You are being trained not to simply survive the coming days, but to conquer. Not to endure the storm, but to command the winds and the waves. But here is the secret, my beloved. Strength without humility is a weak fortress. Power without surrender is a flame that burns out. Victory without grace is a crown that weighs heavy. You must embrace the paradox of the divine warrior, fierce yet gentle, bold yet humble, unyielding yet surrendered. This is the balance heaven requires. The enemy will try to steal this balance from you, pushing you toward anger, bitterness, pride. But I call you back to the center, to the still place where your soul communes with God. In that stillness, you will find your true power. Not power that dominates, but power that releases. Not power that controls, but power that frees. When you walk in this power, the chains of fear fall away. The shadows lose their grip. Your voice becomes a trumpet in the heavens, declaring liberty for the captives. Remember this: you are anointed for such a time as this. Your destiny is woven into the fabric of eternity. Yet, many will not understand your journey. They will question your choices. They will doubt your calling. Let them. Their opinions do not define you. Their doubts do not diminish you. Their rejection is not your failure. Your value is not measured by human applause, but by the weight of heaven's purpose on your life. This purpose demands patience, not the kind that passively waits, but the kind that actively prepares. Prepare your heart with prayer. Prepare your mind with truth. Prepare your spirit with worship. For what lies ahead will require all three. I see the weariness in your bones, the loneliness in your nights, the battles you fight in silence. You may wonder if the fight is worth it, if the promises will come true, if you will make it to the other side. Know this, the fight is worth it. The promises are sure, and you will stand victorious. But you must stay the course. You must hold fast to what you have learned. You must guard your heart against despair. There will be moments when the enemy's roar feels deafening, when the road ahead is shrouded in darkness, when your faith wavers. In those moments, call on me. Call on the name of the Most High. Call on the armies of heaven. I will respond. My presence will fill the void. My sword will cut through the shadows. Do not shrink back. Do not turn aside. Do not allow fear to dictate your steps. You were born for this fight. You were forged in the fire of trials. You were chosen before time began. Rise now in your identity, not as a victim of circumstance, but as a victor in the spirit. The enemy's plans will fail. His lies will be exposed. His power will be broken, and you will shine like the morning sun, radiant and unshakable. But this victory requires something else. Unity. You cannot fight this battle alone. You need the strength of your spiritual family, the support of those who walk the path with you. Seek them out, build them up, stand with them. Together, you form a wall of fire, a fortress of faith, an unbreakable force. Do not isolate yourself in this hour. Isolation is a tactic of the enemy. Connection is a weapon of heaven. Reach out, encourage, be encouraged. Your story is part of a larger story, one written by the hand of God. And in this story, every warrior counts, every prayer matters, every act of faith moves the kingdom forward. Do not underestimate your role. Do not minimize your impact. Do not discount the power of your obedience. You are the light in the darkness, the voice of hope in the silence, the hand that reaches out to pull others up. Hold fast, my beloved. Hold fast. I am with you. I am for you. I am fighting alongside you, and soon the breakthrough will come. You will see the chains fall. You will witness miracles unfold. You will know the joy of victory. But until then, stand firm. Stand steady. Stand bold. Remember, my warrior, you are not alone. You are never alone. I will not leave you. I will not forsake you. Step forward now, with courage, with faith, with power. The battle is fierce, but the victory is certain. Walk in that truth, walk in that authority, and the heavens will open for you. My beloved warrior, you have come to the end of this message, but not the end of your journey. This moment is a new beginning, a turning point where everything shifts in your favor. I have spoken to you not just as a messenger, but as your guardian, your commander, your steadfast defender in the unseen battles you face. You asked, "Am I ready?" And now you know. The readiness you seek is born from faith, from courage, and from the unwavering truth that you do not walk alone. You are ready because you have been prepared, even when you felt weak, even when you doubted. Every trial was a forging fire, and every tear watered the soil where your victory will grow. This is your season of breakthrough. The chains that bound you are breaking, the veils are lifting, and the doors you long to enter are swinging wide open. But with this great promise comes responsibility. The light that shines from you is not only for your path, but to guide others through their darkness. Stand firm in your purpose. Speak your truth boldly. Walk with integrity, kindness, and strength. You are a beacon, drawn by heaven itself, sent to shift the tide for those around you. When doubt creeps in, remember this message. Return to it often. Let it remind you that the power within you is greater than any obstacle before you. I have armed you with spiritual weapons, faith to dismantle doubt, hope to replace despair, love to conquer fear. Hold them close. Your breakthrough is not just an event. It is a transformation. You will never be the same. You will rise into a higher purpose, a deeper calling. And as you rise, so does the kingdom of light. I have watched you, I have fought for you, and I will continue to stand by your side. You are part of a divine plan, a sacred story unfolding through your obedience and trust. No weapon formed against you will prosper. No scheme of darkness can hold you back. The heavens are aligned in your favor. You were chosen for this. You were made for this. You are ready. Now go forward with confidence, with peace in your heart, and with fire in your spirit. Let the world see the power of one who stands with heaven. And as you walk this path, know this channel will be your refuge, your source of divine insight and strength. Like this video, comment below with what you are claiming as your breakthrough, and subscribe so you never miss the next word of encouragement, the next heavenly strategy, the next voice calling you higher. Because your journey is not meant to be traveled in silence. It is meant to be shared, uplifted, and celebrated. Thank you for opening your heart to hear this message. Thank you for trusting the process. Thank you for stepping into your destiny. You are a warrior of light, and your victory is already written in the stars. Walk boldly, walk faithfully, walk powerfully, and I will see you on the battlefield of victory. Amen.